Dr. Richardson, good morning.
Good morning. I've so enjoyed listening to your conversation. I'm like, yeah, these two get it.
I would have welcomed this. I think there's just a lot of push and pull between kids and parents. And sometimes we still love it sometimes as parents when the authorities say, that's a no-go, can't bring cell phones to schools. But for now, let's keep the conversation with the mental health results, even when the studies show that there are less visits to psychologists for these kiddos that didn't bring cell phones into classrooms, right?
Absolutely. The studies show that there was actually a 60% reduction in the visits, psychological visits, when they put these, and 60%, that's huge, when they just took away the cell phones. And my thoughts on that, and I think one of the reasons why the girls saw a greater change in their GPA is what they use their cell phones for. They use it for social media. And anytime, to me, social media has created a comparative society, because anytime you compare, you got a winner and you got a loser. And sometimes, I've worked with young adolescents, and I said, "No, you're the winner," but they don't see it that way. So, and I think what boys use cell phone for is more video games. But when you compare and you don't feel like your dress is as nice, or you don't feel like you went on as great a vacation, that hurts your self-confidence. It hurts your self-esteem. That creates anxiety, some depression, all kinds of stuff. And not just psychological, but the body keeps score of everything going on in the brain. That can create some physical problems too.
That's right. And Dr. Richardson, let me ask you another question. This study also found that with both boys and girls, they experienced, this is an astronomical number, 43 to 46% less bullying after putting their phones away. You surprised by that at all?
No, I'm actually not, because I find that sometimes, video games can leave you in an agitated state. Oh, I didn't get that, And so can social media. Oh my gosh, nobody liked my post, and I posted it yesterday. And that creates a little agitation. And when we get agitated, we're quicker to react. And I do think a lot of bullying is intentional, but I also think some bullying is just overreacting at the wrong time to the wrong situation.
Dr. Leigh Richardson, she's a high-performance brain specialist, a licensed professional counselor, and the founder of the Brain Performance Center. I really appreciate you joining the show on this, because I think this study is just resounding that they look at 400 different middle schools in Norway where kids don't bring cell phones into the classroom. What do you find when you talk to kids or you talk to parents is driving us to allow kids to continue to bring cell phones to school? Is it an addiction? Is it a fear we're going to not be able to get a hold of our kids?
I think it's both. And my biggest concern with cell phones was it will become the newest addiction. And I've talked with families, and sometimes when it's a single parent and they don't have a backup system, there is no support. They feel like they have absolutely got to be able to reach their child when they need to. Maybe they got out of a situation that was somewhat threatening, and that fear of not being able to reach their child is there. So I think that does play into it. But I think for a lot of people, it's freedom, it's freedom of rights. And what I have seen in some families is if you're going to limit the amount of time that the children use a cell phone, that means you have to model that same behavior as parents. And not everybody puts their phone down for 3 or 4 hours and feels so free and so good. For some people, adults, when you look at the Gen Zers, what they grew up with, they grew up with a cell phone in their hand, and look at their depression and look at their anxiety rate.
Right.
Wow. That's great information. I think this will help a lot of Utah families see things differently. Thank you so much, Dr. Leigh Richardson, joining us live on the line, founder of the Brain Performance